Qantas, Toyota, Optus, McDonald's and Sony Stamina Handycam.
Welcome back to France 98. We're ticking away the minutes for the France versus Croatia semi-final at the Stade de France, where our commentator Gary Bloom joins us live now on the Comcam. Gary, it's good to talk to you again.
Good to say hello again, Les.
Gary, tell us a little bit about what your insight is to these two lineups that have been selected, both of them unchanged. Although one would say, we were discussing that here in the studio, that or there would be a view that maybe the French coach André Jacquet should have picked Thierry Henry and David Trezeguet, who've been so aggressive in the front line for them.
Yeah, their big problem is scoring goals, Les, and that is, to me, the one area where I suspect France might struggle tonight. Croatia, very tough team to break down defensively. And I think if things are not going well for France, maybe after an hour they're going to make changes. But they have put their faith in Guy Vache, and he'll lead the attack with Zidane just behind him. And they think they are the players to break down Croatia. It has been said to me that surely France can't struggle for 3 consecutive home matches in their failure to score. And tonight, a nation expects.
Now, the Croatians would have a different idea of that, of course. What is your feeling, having mingled with your colleagues in the corridors at the stadium, about Croatia's chances? I mean, they are still very much the underdogs, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're playing with their hearts, aren't they? This isn't just a football match for them, it's a statement of their national identity. And many people feel that Croatia have already had their World Cup final in beating Germany in the quarterfinals. Perhaps they might be less than confident about this match. It's a home match for France, let's make no mistake about it. It was much more equal perhaps in that quarter-final against Germany. And now Croatia must face the might not only of the French team but also the French nation. They're very hard to break down. I don't see many goals in it tonight, Les, and maybe we're going to go to extra time, golden goal, who knows, even penalties.
Not the dreaded extra time again. Gary, that business about this being a national identity thing for Croatia is a very, very dangerous thing for France, don't you think?
Oh, yes. I mean, should France lose tonight, goodness knows what they're going to make of it all here. So much has been written about the game. All the national newspapers said, now is the day of dreaming. We have the key to heaven, one paper said. Well, it's their big chance, isn't it? France have tried 3 times now to qualify for a World Cup final. 3 times they've been beaten at the semi-final stage. It's now or never.
All right, Gary, well, thank you for joining us for that. Do enjoy the commentary, do enjoy the game. We'll talk to you later.
Good to talk to you, Les. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, there you go, Andy. The teams are coming out. It'll be the same colours as last time in the quarterfinals for both teams. Croatia in predominantly white. There's Michel Platini, and I'm not surprised to say that Jacques Chirac is wearing a suit. And France all in blue today. Les Bleus, this is a big moment for French football.
Sure is. Look, the streets of Paris are finally taken to the French football team. The national side, the Croatians have always had the support of their 5 million people, and it's going to be a powder keg atmosphere if the streets are anything to go by. We can't wait for the football. I have a feeling about this one. They've both been very defensive outfits, but I think it's going to be a cracker today.
Okay, Andy, thank you. Let's go to the national anthems at the Stade, and then we'll be joined by Gary Bloom and Johnny Warren.
National de la France. And now, the national anthem of France.
68 years ago, a Frenchman, Jules Rimet, invented the World Cup. Today his country tried to qualify for its first final. Both teams are unchanged for this semi, and that means that France's goal-scoring hopes are pinned on number 9, Stéphane Guivarc'h, who's only scored once at international level in 11 appearances. It's hardly the sort of form that inspires confidence. So much expected of Zinedine Zidane and Yuri Zhokaev, who've both had quiet World Cups so far. This is the team Croatia started their quarter-final match against Germany. So Igor Stimac continues at sweeper and Zvonimir Soldo operates as a defensive midfield player. Davor Šuker on 4 goals will try and draw level with Gabriel Batistuta and Christian Vieri, who are joint top scorers in the competition with 5. What a night for Didier Deschamps. Following in the footsteps of so many great French captains. Their place of Prozinecki on the Croatian substitutes bench tonight. He really had a very poor game midway through the competition against Argentina. And the traditional kiss on the head now for Fabien Barthez. Well, the likes of Perez and Henry and Trezeguet, and possibly even Dugarry, have a part to play in this game. If France struggle to score, the answer is yes. What a story here. Miroslav Blažević, the coach of Croatia, who coached Didier Deschamps and Marcel Desailly when he was coach at Nantes. José Manuel García-Aranda from Spain is our referee. He refereed the opening match here of France 98 when Brazil met Scotland. Petit has had a splendid World Cup for France. He's anchored their midfield. One or two smiles, nods and winks amongst the Croatian players. They've got a surprise for France, they feel. What a surprise should they beat them. Only 8 times in the 15 editions of the World Cup have the hosts actually qualified for the final. France today will bid to follow in the footsteps of Argentina, Germany twice, England, Sweden, Uruguay and Italy in hosting and appearing in the same year at a World Cup final. Sitting alongside me is Johnny Warren.
Gary, how are you doing? A big one, eh? A big one. Can the fairy tale continue for Croatia? Can France overcome their big weakness in this tournament, which goes without saying, of scoring goals? But a fabulous match in store. Matchups all over the field which are going to determine the outcome. And the man on the ball there, Zidane, is he going to be man-to-man marked as the Italians tried to do, and try and prevent him creating opportunities like almost that one there.
Petit slides in midfield here for France. Lizarazu has been caught very late here. Referee trying to stamp his authority on the game, just as Boban tried to stamp his authority all over Vicente Lizarazu. If that tackle had been any later, he'd have needed to send a postcard. Free kick here to France. Lizarazu. Played over the head of Stanic. Throw in here to France. Remember, France in their 4th World Cup semi-final. They've lost the previous 3. This is Stanic now for Croatia. Tackled by Lizarazu. Stanic with the throw in here for Croatia. Vicente Lizarazu, the player who missed a penalty in the shootout against Italy. Zidane now driving forward here for France. Zinedine Zidane. Ball ricocheted rather favourably there for Croatia. Here's Asanovic. Ran into the challenge of Kerembeu. Stanic will give chase here for Croatia. Lizarazu's seen an awful lot of the ball in the opening couple of minutes.
That is going to be one of the battles, isn't it? Stanic against Lizarazu on the far side.
First touch of the ball for Fabian Barthez.
Apart from the obvious danger of Šuker up front, Stanic and Jani on the flanks, to me, are the two key offensive players for Croatia tonight.
Slaven Bilic helping it back to Drazen Ladic, his goalkeeper. Well, he's only let in 2 goals in the World Cup so far and produced a couple of terrific saves against Germany to deny Oliver Bierhoff. Thuram with a throw here for France. Player nicknamed Lolo here, Laurent Blanc. Desailly. And this is Lizarazu. Lizarazu once again, the focus of this French attack. Stanic has won it back. This is Boban. Bilic. Davor Šuker, that's a lovely turn. Ricocheted off García-Aranda. Here's Yuri Jokayev now for France. Givash, Zinedine Zidane. Always a buzz of expectation when the ball is played forward here towards Zinedine Zidane. He really is the alchemist of this French team. Didn't really get hold of the ball, drove it into the turf a little bit, set it nicely for Ladic. Relatively easy save in the end for the goalkeeper. Yuri Jokayev knocked off the ball, but no free kick for France. Bilic. Do feel, Johnny, these are very important moments for Croatia. If they get to the 20-minute mark at 0-0, they'll grow in confidence, won't they?
They will. Well, they have throughout the whole tournament. But that last French move, Gary, significant that Jokayev initiated it. France do need a big game out of him. He's been below par in this tournament so far. Such a good player, but hasn't done it so far. But a good opening movement for him there.
Boban really is the vital player for Miroslav Blažević, the coach. Blažević was saying that he thought Boban was the best player in Croatia. High praise indeed. Asanovic. He's lost out there. García-Aranda trying to pick out Yuri Jokayev. All the way back to Lilian Thuram. Laurent Blanc. Ivash. Simic was hoping for a free kick then, or maybe even a throw-in, and it's all gone rather flat here for France. Throw-in now to Croatia. Stanic will take the throw. Remember, Croatia playing in their first ever World Cup finals, and they've got through to the last 4. Blanc. García-Aranda. Desailly has lost the ball. He seemed to be fouled. He was fouled. Rather accusing look by the French captain. And it's Zinedine Zidane. Picks out Lizarazu. Jokayev almost fell to Givash. Jani. Asanovic trying to pick out Šuker. Zidane. García-Aranda. Thuram. Plenty of possession here for France, but can they translate that into a significant attack? Petit goes scurrying after the ball. Simic gets there first and has given it away to Lizarazu. Good possession once again by the French. Zinedine Zidane. Thuram. Guivache. Deschamps. Appeared to be a handball there. Certainly one or two French players thought they might have had a free kick, and here come Croatia on the counter-attack with Hasanovic. Robert Jarni, who scored the opening goal in the quarter-finals against Germany. It's not a bad-looking cross. Vlahovic was the intended target. And Fabien Barthez was the party pooper as far as Croatia are concerned. Here's Petit. Great ball to pick out. Zinedine Zidane. Zidane with a shot. Lifted harmlessly over the crossbar. Well, there was plenty of space in which Zidane was able to manoeuvre. Maybe this is a slightly worrying sight, the amount of space afforded to Zinedine Zidane. Thuram. Karambeu. It's all France at the moment. And here's Jokaev looking for a free kick. Obstruction committed by the incredulous Hasanovic. Oh dear me, look where Yuri Jokaev had his hands. Almost grievous bodily harm. Certainly had his hands full, didn't he?
No comment.
Free kick here to France, which Deschamps will take. Zidane. Look at the positioning here of Fabien Barthez. But in the absence of a Croatian forward, he's happy to play sweep, and a good delivery too. Petit. Zidane with a header. And it's interesting to see how much Zinedine Zidane is getting involved early on in this game for France. Route 1 football by France. But Petit was able to pick out Zizou, as he's known, in the French team. And Zidane unable to pick out the target. Johnny?
Well, Zidane, two opportunities there. He's been left free. Soldo was picking him up earlier. It is a tempting tactic to use when you play France, to put someone on him. We saw Italy do that the other day, one of the best marking nations in the world. They couldn't control him completely. And already, with a man-to-man, Zidane eluding him again. Here's a chance here.
Davor Šuker's onside. Vlahovic is arriving eventually. And it's a corner. Now that was worrying there for France, because Davor Šuker had eluded the France offside trap. In the end, it took a very good tackle by Marcel Desailly to snuff out the danger of Davor Šuker, who has already rattled in 4 World Cup goals in this tournament. Real heart-in-the-mouth moment here for the French supporters. Corner kick to Croatia. Boban spins away from Petit, turns Petit this way and that. And good defensive work by Petit, and now it's France's turn to counter-attack. Guivache. Karambeu. Zidane. Desailly just about kept in by Petit, and here's Lizarazu. 11 minutes of frenetic football, but no goals. Lovely touch by Zinedine Zidane. Deschamps. France, as they've done in the last few games, just a little bit nervous in front of goal. And there, another example of some rather wayward shooting. Thirsty work playing in World Cup semi-finals, as Davor Šuker knows. I presume it's just water he's drinking. Yuri Jokaev caught offside. Bourbon. García-Aranda with the throw. Šuker. France are playing some good football, but last third of the field they are slightly nervous, slightly tentative. Can they find somebody to keep a cool head when all around them are losing theirs? Zidane. Petit. Lizarazu. Givash. Stanic. Asanovic now for Croatia. Jani. This is where Croatia are dangerous. They get players very quickly forward. Jani with a cross, looking for Davor's Šuker. It's not a particularly good cross. Certainly not one of Jani's better ones in these championships. And Croatia know that the opportunities they're going to have in this game are going to be few and far between. They can't afford to waste them. Zidane takes on Simic. Into Yuri Šuker. Good block. And Croatia dealt with that very effectively indeed, as Yuri Šuker just had a little bit of a sneak at that Croatian goal. Laurent Blanc. Here's Thuram, who for his club normally plays central defence, playing right back for France. And had to bring the ball forward towards Šuker. Good run here by Thuram. Givash. And Stanic, the redeemer there for Croatia.
Well, it's the story of the game so far, isn't it? I said earlier that Stanic and Jani were the two key attacking weapons to support Šuker in front, but they've been on the back foot. We saw Stanic there clearing up at the back. They just have their hands full in defending France, who are really stretching them all over the park at the moment.
We've had nearly quarter of an hour of the game. 0-0. Petit with a corner. The goalkeeper's dropped it now as he fouled. The answer is yes. Mladic didn't seem to catch the ball. He made a better job of holding his head afterwards. Seemed to be elbowed as he tried to catch it. Givash made life very difficult indeed for the Croatian keeper. And there was a handball in there as well, wasn't there? Stade with that header back to his keeper. I think you'd have to say that the game is going much the way many people predicted. It is very much a home game for France. Christophe Dugarry, we saw briefly, now restored to fitness. Soldo, under pressure here from Petit. Boban. Desai. Stanic now for Croatia. Vlahovic to his left. Tried to run through the middle of Desai, and not many players managed that.
What a defender, Desai. Just could count the number of errors on one hand in this tournament.
García-Aranda now for France. Whole of the nation expects this team to score. This is Šuker. García-Aranda. García-Aranda once again, and Givash just seemed to be bought then by Slaven Bilic, a real wily defender, Slaven Bilic. Just made sure that Givash couldn't accelerate onto that through ball. I think, in fact, it was Stade who did the blocking in the end. Matters little. Another chance is gone. And now Zidane has been caught here. Zidane and Boban, two players who earn their living in Italy's Serie A. And here's another one, Lilian Thuram. Stenic. Bilic. Boban for Croatia. Asanovic. Šuker's on the far side screaming for the ball. Just towards the top of your picture. Asanovic. Look at how much yardage Croatia gave up then. And now they've been caught offside. They were in a very promising position about 45 seconds ago, and they funneled the ball all the way back to their goalkeeper, Drazen Ladic. Frustrating night, no doubt, for Šuker in prospect. Zidane. Have a ball to Thuram. Cut out by Bilic. Boban. Asanovic. Lizarazu. Zidane. Nothing more than a routine save for Ladic, but the anticipation there as the ball bobbled along the turf. They were just praying that Ladic would make a mistake, the French fans in this stadium. Wasn't to be. Still 0-0. We've had nearly 20 minutes of the game. The winners of this game meet Brazil in Sunday's final here. Petit. Carambeu did well to evade a couple of challenges and pick out Petit. Lizarazu. Petit went flying in with studs showing. Zidane, all rather crowded on the edge of that Croatian penalty area, just as Germany found out the other night in Lyon. Thuram with a cross. Away by Soldo, crashes the ball into Petit. And there with a rather wild kick, makes contact with the midriff of Emmanuel Petit. Free kick to France. Petit little more than winded. He can see why. Now France have so many players who can hit these free kicks so accurately. Zinedine Zidane, Yuri Jokaev, all very adept at testing the goalkeeper. It's Deschamps standing over the ball. Good save by Ladic. He saw it coming every inch of the way from the boot of Givash. It came through a ruck of players then. It was a fantastic sight because everybody who's got a pocket camera had their cameras out and ready for that free kick, and there was a battery of flashes there as this one was walloped in. Terrific sight. Lizarazu now for France, still 0-0. Givash. Carambeu, look how many Croatians are back defending. Up to Givash again. Blanc. Thuram. Ball had gone out of play. Christian Carambeu, teammate of Davor Šuker at Real Madrid. Well, as long as Šuker remains at Real, of course. Real Madrid have told Davor Šuker he can leave this summer. Asanovic was guilty of obstruction then, rather surprisingly. Thought that was a harsh decision, to be honest. We've reached the midway point of the first half. Still France 0, Croatia 0. Yuri Jokayev with a free kick. Desai's gone forward here. Davor Šuker now for Croatia. Vlahovic. Hasanovic. Johnny, it's proving very hard to break down the Croatians.
It is. How much more can they peg them back? I mean, they're almost locked in their own penalty box, aren't they, with Vlahovic and Šuker up front alone. I mean, it's just the enormous pressure from France. Croatia just can't exert anything in a counter-attacking sense. And the French players are so hungry for the ball. Everybody wants it. Everyone wants a bit of the action. And when a team's like that and in good touch as Zidane and company are, it is very difficult for Croatia to try to get back in. All you can suggest is to try to get the ball, keep it for a little period to disrupt the rhythm which France have built up so splendidly so far.
Zidane. Karambeu. Thuram. Patience surely is the key here for France. Thuram. And as soon as he got round one tackle, another one was coming quickly at him. Cleverly got round Boban. But Bilic was there with his size 10s to thump the ball out of play for a corner kick.
Just sense the best chance is going to come from a set piece, don't you? With the likes of Blanc getting onto one of these.
Corner to France. Ladic has come for it, and he's made a good stop as well. And he tries to set Croatia moving forward quickly here with that throw out. And they've done well to win a free kick. Stanic, rare foray forward. Vlahovic now for Croatia. Still Goran Vlahovic. Vlahovic was looking for maybe a free kick, maybe a penalty. The referee from Spain tells him to get up and get on with the game. And here's Zinedine Zidane. It was always going to be tight in this match. France with the best defensive record. France 98, Croatia with the second best defensive record. That's Thuram, a hopeful rather than an accurate one. Now, was this a penalty? Well, Thuram certainly got in the way. Boban with the flick on. Blanc. Deschamps. And here's Robert Jarni now for Croatia. Davor Šuker had absolutely nothing to aim at. There wasn't another Croatian player inside the France penalty area. That's a great ball. Zinedine Zidane. Yuri Jokayev. Oh dear. Igor Stimac was a player who quite crudely cut away the ankles here of Yuri Jokayev. Wallop. Well, Stanic is ready to do him if Stimac had missed him. Deafening noise now around the Stade de France. Huge expectation on the French team to score from this dead ball situation. It'll either be Yuri Jokayev or Zinedine Zidane with a free kick. Zidane. And it all comes to nothing once again. Soldo needs some support here. France is so quick into the tackle. It's very hard for Croatia. Givash misses out. Yanni now. It's behind Boban. Well, the Croatian coach must be happy we've got to the 27-minute mark and his side haven't conceded a goal.
I would think half-time couldn't come quick enough for him to get in to try and sort of a few things out. France appear to have an extra man on the field, don't they? And the reason that's happening is the very smart game being played by Karambur, who drops into midfield when his team has the ball, and then when they lose it, he then drops wide to prevent Yanni from overlapping.
I think penalties can't come quick enough for the Croatian coach. No?
Well, it's very difficult. France are. I mean, the whole tournament they've played splendidly, haven't they, all over the park, except in finishing. Now, this game is no exception. Just in control of the game all the time. Someone just sitting here watching them, you almost feel you could step on and play yourself. It is so simple because they always have a free man.
Vlahovic. Davor Šuker now for Croatia. Stanic to his right. Asanovic to his left. Bilic makes a run here to try ease a logjam. And Croatia offside here with Davor Šuker. 4 goals so far at France 98. Oh, and look, France are going to make a change. It's Henry who I think is coming on. Once again, Croatia offside, and it all comes to naught. Some of the Croatian attacks have been, well, not best designed, to say the least. Stade, almost caught out at the back, trying to release Stanic now. Stanic thumps the ball against Petit, and France want to make this switch. I can only assume there's an injury here, Johnny, unless this is a tactical switch after half an hour. Yeah, they wouldn't bring off Karambur for no reason at all, would they?
No, it's a tactical one. I was just praising the role that he was playing. I felt that France were on top because of his containment of Yanni, and also it's the injury, yeah. But also by his dropping into midfield to give them the advantage there.
So Thierry Henry is on here for France. He really has looked the sharpest of France's forwards at this tournament. Scored 3 goals so far. And we're 15 minutes away then from half-time, with the scoreline still blank. Barthez waits anxiously on his line. Boban with a free kick. Stanic has moved forward threateningly here. Šuker's waiting on the back post. This is Asanovic. Asanovic with room for the cross in towards Stanic and away by Blanc. Zidane. France can break quickly here. Deschamps. Forward towards Henry, but it wasn't a great ball. And Deschamps with the header. Blanc. Zidane shrugs off the challenge of Boban and heads off towards goal. Guivarch now for France. Jokayev. And the referee has spotted an infringement. Handball, I suspect, and he was absolutely right. I think that was unintentional by Jokayev, but he put his hand to the ball, and that's good enough for the referee. Šuker is a makeshift right winger at the moment. Soldo. Stanic. Full marks to Croatia. They are a very clever side defensively. A little bit of treatment now for Karambert. Evidently was an injury. As Vlahovic heads for goal, then Davor Šuker tries to get the better of Laurent Blanc. Ersanovic. Yanni's made a run down the left-hand side, and that's an awful delivery.
Yes, they haven't been able to get him in the game, have they? Either Stanic or Yanni.
France have had awful luck with injuries, haven't they, throughout the World Cup? Here's Vicente Lizarazu, the left back of France. Petit. Givash. Giving it away to Stanic. María Stanic, who dyed his hair prior to the quarter-final against Germany. Manuel Petit doesn't have to dye his hair. Stanic with a throw. Throw in goes Croatia's way. Boban. Ersanovic. What a chance to Croatia. Ersanovic was through. And there was a moment's hesitation there by the French. And what a great chance there for Ersanovic to give Croatia the lead.
And the ball was square to Šuker. Wrong option. But it does show what Croatia can do. And a little warning to France that, not that they need reminding, this is far from over.
Boban now for Croatia. Boban wanted too long on the ball. Henry won it. This is Zinedine Zidane. Thuram. This should be Stanic's ball. Stanic has left it behind Henry, and there's a foul there. The Stade de France has been a cauldron of noise from about 20 minutes prior to kick-off, but you could have heard a pin drop then when Ersanovic was clean through. Foul by Lizarazu, and France have to keep their concentration now. They've had 35 minutes of virtual incessant pressure, and just one or two times now they've allowed Croatia an advantage, which France know could well be turned into a goal. And who knows, this could be one of those moments. Ersanovic standing over the ball. Stanic forward, Boban forward. Bilic makes a run from the back post. Soldo's in there as well. Stanic. And there's an almighty clatter of bodies as the ball ricochets to safety. And suddenly the task for France seems just as big as ever. Desailly tried to run the ball out of defence. I'm not really sure why. Good period in the match this for Croatia. Still 0-0, and we've had 36 minutes of the game. This is Stanic. Well, France managed to save the corner kick courtesy of Marcel Desailly, but they haven't managed to save the throw-in. And this is a stern examination now of the French defence, which so far has only conceded 1 goal, and that a penalty kick against Denmark. Stanic. And a free shot on goal for Slaven Bilic. Look at Barthez. No wonder he's furious. Look at the time Bilic had here. He had time to control the ball and have a proper shot on goal, rather than that rather powder puff effort.
Well, we've seldom, if ever, seen France under any defensive pressure, have we? So it's interesting to see here now how they react. But Croatia's best period, the last 10 minutes. And again, probably just a reminder, France have had so much of this first half. There is a tendency to think that it's going to be all right, but Croatia bringing them back to earth a little bit, stinging them with a couple of good counter-attacks.
This very reminiscent of the game, the quarter-final against Germany. Virtually a rerun, and whisper it very quietly in this stadium, but on the stroke of half-time in their last 2 games, Croatia have scored. And both have proved very important goals. The one against Romania from the penalty spot, and that goal by Jarni on the stroke of half-time against Germany. Both laid the foundations for impressive Croatian victories. And it's almost as if, with half-time approaching once again, Croatia turn their minds towards attack. And this is Robert Jarni, who will take this throw-in for Croatia. Davor Šuker's posted on the penalty spot. Bilic tries to get up there. Jokaev was fouled, and France will have the free kick. Ball was actually moving when the free kick was taken. That was Petit and Blanc getting in a bit of a mess. Hardly impressive defending. Laurent Blanc. Throw into France. There are rumours that Thierry Henry could be on his way to Parma next season. There's a current Parma player, Lilian Thuram. Laurent Blanc now for France. Zidane. Peculiar save by the keeper. It's not over yet. Henry. It's a corner now. Well, what the Croatian keeper Ladic was doing here, I'm not sure. A one-handed save when the ball was quite clearly flying wide, and he's just gifted France the corner kick. And that one's got pretty ribbons on it. Petit with the corner, Ladic with the catch. He's done well with the French corners, Drazen Ladic. Less impressive with his shot on goal that was quite clearly moving well wide of its target. Boban. Šuker's unmarked at the back post position. Soldo. Thuram. Oh, Lizarazu could be in trouble here. Certainly France have been a good deal less impressive in the last 10 minutes when Croatia have come back strongly into the game. Zidane. Stanic. Bilic. This is Asanovic, and Stanic is wide. Šuker again calls for the ball at the back post. Asanovic, Stanic. Stanic, tackled by Lizarazu. No shortage of vocal encouragement for the French, but what they want is a goal, and it's Croatia who are just running the game for the time being. Stanic. Asanovic. Davor Šuker, oh, had his first touch been a little bit more impressive. Goodness only knows what might have happened there.
It's no coincidence, a surprise I should say, for me, Gary, that France have dropped out of the game since Karambeur went off. I thought he was integral in what was happening in that first period, the first 30 minutes. But since off with the injury, Croatia have come back and have France in many respects on the back foot.
I just wonder whether the role of Yanni now is that bit more clear now for Croatia. With Karambeur on the field, Yanni didn't manage to get forward.
No, he didn't. Henry, of course, is playing that similar role. But the difference with Croatia, of course, is if Šuker and company get an opportunity, they'll put it away.
Vlahovic, the player who was cursing his luck there. What an impressive sight, the Stade de France, full to capacity, and I'm sure a few more have sneaked in on top of that. But we reached that moment of the game which has proved decisive for Croatia in their last two matches. The 45-minute mark when they've just sneaked a goal. Will they do it again? Davor Šuker. And all of a sudden the sureness of touch which was evident in the French play in the opening 25 minutes just seems to have evaporated into the night air. This is Robert Yanni. Davor Šuker. If Croatia are going to go through to their first ever World Cup final, he'll be such an important...
Ah, dear. We've seen some fouls tonight, Gary, haven't we? There's a almost accidental handball. We've seen some bad fouls go unpunished. The tackle from behind. I mean, the refereeing is so inconsistent throughout the tournament. And then for an incident like that to get the yellow, I know it is in the laws, but it doesn't equate to me in terms of fair play.
José, I was saying that Davor Šuker will be an important personage for Croatia should they manage to get through to the World Cup final. So many hopes are pinned on him. Sanovic, Yanni. Henry, Petit. Zinedine Zidane. We're in stoppage time at the end of the first half. Deschamps. Good catch by Mladic. 2 minutes of stoppage time then to be added on. Are Croatia going to find this special moment in a match for them once again? Yanni. Obstruction. Now, this could be interesting. What was that to do, says Deschamps. Croatia just wanted to get on with the game a little bit too quickly for the referee's liking. Spanish official says take the free kick again. It would be rich irony indeed if Croatia were to take the lead. They've been pegged back for long periods of the first half. Boban with the free kick. And Barthez with an enormous cheer, catching the ball and thumping it upfield. Right into the arms of his opposite number, Drazen Mladic. There's about 30 seconds left of the first half. That's all. Still 0-0. Asanovic now for Croatia. Boban. Deschamps. This is Henry. France will have to hurry up if they want to mount an attack before the referee interrupts their possession with a half-time whistle. Literally a matter of seconds left now as Thuram takes this throw in. Eventually, anyway. And at the interval, goalless, but France will feel they've lost an important cog in Christian Carambeu. And in replacing you with Thierry Henry, the side have just lost their shape a little bit. Prompting from midfield. But the chances at both ends have been few and far between. In the last 10 minutes of the first half, Croatia felt they had the better of the exchanges. It's always going to be tight, certainly going to be confrontational. And the half-time score from the Stade de France is France 0, Croatia 0.
No matter what shape the world is in, rely on us to call a cube a cube, a prism a prism, hexagon. Telling it like it is.
Get into the mega cool taste of fresh mint flavour Fisherman's Friend and you could win Masseur sandals, a Polaris personal watercraft or other great prizes. See packs for details.
Now to play McMatch and win Monopoly. Just peel back the label, match the properties, and you can win some amazing prizes. Like one of 8 fantastic new Land Rover Freelanders, so you can escape for some serious fun. Or one of 30 Air New Zealand family holidays, including 15 to Disneyland. So for your chance to win a big prize, fly into McDonald's today.
You could have filmed for longer on a Sony Stamina Handycam. It's a Sony.
Celebrate the World Cup. You can head off to Barcelona with Qantas from $1,765 return for travel October 1 to November 15. So hop into your licensed or after travel agent or call Qantas now.
To celebrate the World Cup, Optus are taking 50% off our standard residential long-distance off-peak rates to all 32 countries competing when you call between midnight and 7 a.m. every day from June 11 to July 13. So talk to your friends or family about the game, who won, who lost and why. Remember, it's 50% off our standard off-peak rates to every World Cup country midnight to 7 a.m.
Yes! Yes!
Now's the time to consider locking your home loan into a fixed rate. Call Westpac on 131 900 now.
Welcome back to Paris in France 98. We're halfway through the second semi-final here, France versus Croatia. If you've just joined us, it's 0-0 at the break after a fairly furious first half, Andy, where the honours were split really towards the end, as we've heard from the commentators. It has been mostly Croatia, but earlier the pressure was really from France.
Yeah, enthralling tension, and France had the go of it for about the first 20 minutes, but showing their real weakness, and that is a lack of authority in front of goal. I think controlled possession beautifully, and Croatia were finding it very difficult to get a kick. But as the half wore on, certainly Croatia looked more dangerous when they went forward, and that would be a point of concern for coach José, the French coach. That is, I mean, the French defence is yet to be broken, but they do look very dangerous, the Croatians. The first 20 minutes, the French were quite fluent, and Zidane was prominent. Some of his touches and shooting from range was probably the feature of the first 20 minutes. Is the director at this time. But it's all from distance, the French stuff. They're not really getting into a position where they're causing... Ladic really has not had to make a save. The one save he did make really wasn't required and gave the French team a corner. But a lot of beautiful flicks and touches, and up until the penalty area, the French look excellent, and they've been looking like that for a couple of months now. There's no surprise in the way they're playing. The reverse is the case when the Croatians get a sniff in front of goal. We put that in actually for Desire, which absolutely perfect tackle, immaculate defending. He wins virtually everything and never gives away any fouls. Again, not really troubling keeper Ladic, that strike from Zidane. And they're not able to get behind the Croatian line at all. It's very congested around the penalty area, and possibly because of the strength of the Croatians with Stanic and Jani on the right and left side, possibly that's stopping the French players from actually, their wide players from actually getting forward themselves and trying to explode past them into those dangerous crossing areas, because if the play was to break down, then Jani has pace himself. He could exploit that. The absence of Thuram if he was to get too far forward. But the highlights now showing that Croatia certainly came in and the French looked rattled towards the end of the half. Not rattled so much as a nice effort from distance. That's the save that Ladic didn't have to make and gave away a corner. But the French just look a little uneasy. Whilst we'd be happier if Karambou was playing still, the inclusion of Henry gives them that mobile option up front. Givac, good in the air that he is, doesn't really have the pace, seem to have the pace to disturb the Croatian back four, whereas Henry in the games to date has used his pace quite nicely and unsettled defences with it.
Can you see a dangerous pattern evolving here, dangerous for the French, and in Croatia's favour is to defend very tightly, frustrate the French, who will believe their own bad publicity, which is that they can't score, and then the French will get so frustrated that they'll be in trouble.
Yeah, I think that's the key word. I think frustration is the biggest problem for France. If they can keep patient and keep cool, that they should still be able to get away with this one, because they can control possession if they're on top of their game, and if frustration does get in there, they will start to have some problems. But from the Croatians' point of view, they're soaking up the pressure beautifully and looking very dangerous, as we said on the break, and what they're actually showing is a side of their game that not many people gave them credit for, and that is amazing temperament and strength of discipline and hanging on there, and they're very resilient. It's not usually something that you credit a Croatian side with. They usually tag them with flair and beautiful touches and goal-scoring prowess. But we're seeing a side to them that has been very efficient today and really causing the French outfit a lot of problems.
All right, Andy, let's gauge the situation inside the stadium as we cross live to Tracy Holmes, who's inside on the Comcam. Tracy, what's it like? The French fans were very much buoyant, obviously, early in the game, but now they must be getting a little bit frustrated with the Croatians on top.
Very much edge of the seat stuff, and as opposed to many of the other crowds that we've seen here at the World Cup, this is a very still crowd. The only thing I can really compare it to is probably something like a rugby union crowd, where they're not so anxious and vocal and arms flying up in the air. They're very still, just watching every single moment. I guess the pressure of this semi-final is not lost on anyone here. There is one corner of very vocal Croatian supporters, all decked out in red and white. It's about an eighth of the stadium on my left here, and that is the only movement that we've seen in the whole first half of the game. The rest of the crowd, edge of the seats, very still, uproar whenever it gets very close to a goal being scored or an attempt being made. But other than that, it's real bite-your-nails stuff.
Has there been a variation in the mood of the French fans, who, as you say, are very much in the majority? Because earlier in the game, it was very much France on top. Do you feel that maybe the crowd will get too frustrated itself and maybe turn against their own team?
Well, very frustrated. The other thing that is completely unusual too, you normally see people start to get up and sneak off to get those little half-time drinks just before half-time. Nobody moved. until the referee had blown the whistle, and then people just darted out as fast as they could in order to get straight back, not to miss one moment of this game. So it is a very, very different crowd to all the other matches we've seen so far. The anxiety has probably been released in this last 5 minutes or so, because people have relaxed a bit, being very vocal in speaking to people next to them about, you know, how we can win this game, how we're going to turn it around. And they're going to try and do that from the seats, let alone what the players are going to try and do when they come out for the second half.
OK, Tracy, enjoy the rest of the game. Good luck to you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
OK, that's Tracy Holmes, and she'll be joining us later on. We'll take a break here. When we return, it'll be the second half of the second semi-final, France versus Croatia. This is the 16th World Championship of football.
There is a plot.
Hello, Dateline.
The details are evident.
I'm from inside.
International treaty we should never have gone into.
Its purpose is clear.
Yes, we definitely want to do that. Is that the tape from Lebanon?
The implications far-reaching.
We might have to turn into an early election.
The consequences profound.
Dealt a very raw deal by politicians.
There is a plot.
Welcome to Inside. Welcome to Dateline.
A plot to inform you.
You could have filmed for longer on a Sony Stamina Handycam. It's a Sony.
To celebrate the World Cup, Qantas is sending people off to Paris from $1,765 return for travel October 1 to November 15. So hop into your licensed or after travel agent or call Qantas now.
It's happy! It's sad!
Maybe it's the racy good looks. Maybe it's the twin cam fuel efficiency and performance. Maybe it's the peace of mind. Whatever, one thing's for sure, people are happier with a Corolla. So, get a Corolla, get happy.
This is The Edge.
Spend 45 days in the new Army Reserve and you'll end up with a lot more than tax-free pay and an ongoing part-time job. Call 13 19 02. Hurry, applications close soon. The new Army Reserve. The Edge.
Her loyalty is to man.
Eve was recreated from a frozen lab embryo.
Her instinct is to mate.
Last time I fought with that alien, I almost got myself killed.
Steal the compound.
Her destiny is to breed.
We've got 2 aliens running around.
The battle of the sexes is about to be fought on Earth. Michael Madsen, Natasha Henstridge. Species 2.
Welcome back to France 98. We're almost ready to go back to the Stade de France for the second half of the second semi-final. It's France versus Croatia, the winner to meet Brazil, of course, in the final on Sunday. Let's check the statistics from the first half, and you will see that Croatia, in fact, has, by a small margin, more of the possession. They've been, of course, playing a holding game in this first half, so that's not surprising. More to the point, further down, 6 shots on goal by France, only 2 by Croatia. But of course, Andy, that is pretty meaningless unless you do something with those shots. The shooting really hasn't been very good at all by the French. A lot of those shots going wide, 6 on target, but nothing that troubled the goalkeeper Ladic.
No, and I think that the most dangerous moments came from the Croatians, even though according to those stats they've had less of the attacking play. And most of France's effort has been from distance, and they haven't, as we said before the break, got into positions or got themselves into positions where they've really got they've unbalanced the Croatian backline, or penetrated the Croatian backline, or made them turn and face their own goal. And Ladic has been untested largely. He's been very comfortable off corners. Just had that one glitch with that shot from Zidane, which was going wide otherwise. But he's been, like we said, largely untested. And for all France's possession, for their 48% of the share of possession, they really haven't troubled. Looked great up until the penalty box. Otherwise, the Croatians have looked very dangerous on there a couple of times.
Well, it's a worrying thing, Andy, because now if you discount Laurent Blanc's goal in extra time, the golden goal against Paraguay, France has now played 2.5 matches without scoring a goal. Paraguay froze them out. Italy, of course, froze them out. They never even really looked like scoring against Italy, quite frankly, even though they had dominated the game. So that's it's a real chronic problem for France, even though Aimé Jacquet is trying to play it down.
Well, it goes back further than that, Les. I mean, they're talking about the goals they scored in the round-robin part of the tournament, the first phase. And I mean, let's face it, that a couple of their goals were credited as own goals anyway to defenders. So there's not really a lot to cheer about as far as the attacking punch of the French outfit's concerned. All the talk coming into the tournament was about that one glaring weakness in their lineup. They haven't been able to resolve it over the month of France 98. They really need, obviously, to do something about it in the 2 games that remain, given that, of course, even if they lose tonight, they have got another game in the 3rd, 4th playoff. But there's been no solution. And Dugarry's coming back from fitness. He might get a start later on. I think the Givac looks good in the air, but a bit ponderous against the Croatian backline, not really causing too many troubles, apart from in the air. Maybe a Trezeguet, who knows?
All right, Andy, thank you. Let's go back to Gary Bloom and Johnny Warren.
France have lost just once on French soil since November '93. That was to England a year ago in Toulouse in the tournoi. So many of their fans have long faces at half-time. It's France who restart the game, playing from right to left in this second half. Zidane with the first touch. Here's Stanic. Surely France won't fall at this hurdle. Asanovic. Terrific run by Asanovic. And there's an opening here. Surely Croatia are going to take the lead, and they have. Davor Šuker becomes the joint top goal scorer in the competition. His 5th goal of France 98, and just as they've done in their last 2 games, they score on the 45-46 minute mark. And is that the goal to take Croatia to the World Cup final? France were fast asleep. Their minds were still in the dressing room, and their half-time team talk when Davor Šuker broke through unchallenged to steer the ball in. What a great ball by Asanovic.
Fabulous pass. Thuram played them all onside, and we were saying just off air at half-time, if Šuker gets a chance, he's in the form to put it away, and that's exactly what's happened. That is a class finish. Unlike France, they don't waste them, Croatia, and we now have a game on our hands.
France know they'll have to abandon most of their defensive frailties here. They're level!
Oh, unbelievable.
They've come straight back into it and drawn level. It's Lilian Thuram. It's his first goal for France, and what a time to score it!
That is amazing. He was at fault with the Croatian goal. He played Šuker onside, and seconds later has put one in at the other end.
Thuram won the ball, linked up with Yuri Zokaev, and incredibly, within 60 seconds of Croatia taking the lead, France are level with a man who's never scored a goal at international level. Davor Šuker can't stop scoring them, and Thuram's never scored one until tonight. That goal brought instant relief around this stadium.
It's amazing, isn't it, Gary? At schoolboy level, the rules are that in the first opening minutes, you keep it tight, the concentration's there, and the other time you have to double the concentration is just after you have scored, because that's when you're the most vulnerable. And we've seen here in the first minute of the second half, both sides commit the sin, if you like, of going against that principle of schoolboy football.
Šuker's goal instantly cancelled out. What a night in Paris. What a night in the Stade de France. The problem here for Yuri Šuker, as you've probably seen, damaged his arm. And Laurent Blanc congratulating Lilian Thuram for the equaliser. I wonder if Yuri Šuker can shrug off that injury now. It's all square again. Yanni now. Dangerous play, free kick to France. Robert Yanni had his studs too high. I wonder if that goal will just relax France that little bit now, because they were so nervous and so tentative in that opening 45 minutes. And here's the goal scorer, Lilian Thuram. Henry. And that surely is a corner. And suddenly the supporters have found their voices. They've stopped biting their fingernails and decided to shout at the top of their voices. Corner to France. Blanc's missed it. Oh, Zidane! He got every ounce of his body weight into that shot. And suddenly, in this expectant atmosphere, there's a belief that France just might do it. Ladic was beaten, but Stimats to the rescue. Divash clashing with Soldo, who took a fearful whack on his head. And the danger wasn't past yet, because Zinedine Zidane thumped a shot at goal, which I think would have gone in had it not been for the intervention of Igor Stimats.
The first one was going in too, I think, from Djorkaeff. Had the first volley.
Boban was the player who had the ball ripped from him by Thuram. Djorkaeff returned the favour, and Thuram became the hero of the Stade de France with that goal. Soldo still looks a little bit battered and confused. This is Lizarazu with a throw. Laurent Blanc. Blanc's won a corner. You do get the impression that the real game has started now.
Yes, and ironically, the goal by Croatia has woken France up.
The phony war is well and truly over.
It's like they say when you play Brazil, don't score against them, you upset them. That's certainly the case with France.
Corner kick to France, Djorkaeff. Djorkaeff with a header. Petit. Lizarazu. Yuri Djorkaeff now. Poor first touch. He's almost won it back. Lizarazu with a cross. And away by Yanni, who claims he was being pushed. It's going to be a free kick here to Croatia, I think, for a push on Robert Yanni. He was being held back as he delivered the ball to safety. I think the Spanish official, by and large, has had a good game. Yes, Yanni was quite clearly being impeded here. Divash and Yanni had almost locked arms like a couple of lovers there. Zinedine Zidane. And cries of Allez la France, rain down from the seats. It's deafening. Can they alley all the way to Sunday's final here against Brazil? Yuri Djorkaeff. Stanic now for Croatia. Trying to pick out Goran Vlahovic. That's one almighty ball. Vlahovic's cross couldn't pick out a colleague. Zinedine Zidane. One back by Simic. This is Bilic now for Croatia. Picks out Hasanovic. It's almost as if that Croatian goal was the best thing that could have happened to France. Because suddenly I think they thought their World Cup final place was disappearing very fast indeed. Manuel Petit, Zinedine Zidane. Zidane again, Jokaev, wasn't sure about the geography of the ball. Cut out by Desai. Terrific ball. Divash, Henry. Thuram now. Thuram with a cross. Away by Stanic. Petit. Nothing Petit about his performance tonight. Crashing another shot in on goal. Disappointed with his own inability to keep the ball down. We've had 9 minutes of a pulsating second half. It's 1-1. Petit was fouled. Free kick to France. Stanic. At the last touch. Throw into France. Desai. Thuram. Foul on Henry by Hasanovic. He has already been cautioned, so he'll have to watch his step. So more pressure on that Croatian goal. Away by Solder. This is Vlahovic. Runs into Jokaev, but I think there was either a handball or a push there by Yuri Jokaev, and a free kick to Croatia. What a breakneck start to the second half, John.
Isn't it? A goal changes complexion of the game immediately. But for their part now, Croatia have to weather the storm, to try to keep possession, deny possession to France, just get their control that they had so well in the last 15 minutes of the first half to get it back.
Davor Šuker looking to pick out Boban and wanting a ball back from Boban, to be honest. And this is Blanc, and this is Zidane. Stimats. Boban. Let's not write off Croatia. It's still only 1-1, and really anybody's game still. Davor Šuker. Yanni. Šuker's taking up a position on the edge of the box. Cut out though by Thuram, probably the best athlete in the French squad. Guivache now for France. Poor ball, easily telegraphed there by Hasanovic. And this is Stanic. Mario Stanic. Plays his club football in Italy with Parma. Solder. Hasanovic. Simic, youngest member of the team. Yanni. France drop back into defence. And Yanni unable just to get the run of the ball. Robert Yanni, whose goal really set Croatia on their way in their quarter-final against Germany. I just think if Croatia could have held that 1-0 lead for 10 minutes, we could have had a very, very different game. Jokaev. This is Thuram. Bilic. Stanic. And a foul by Petit, who had his arm extended and really should be cautioned for that show of dissent by chucking the ball away. And this isn't going to help his cause one little bit. He was holding off Stanic, so I'm not quite sure what Petit is complaining about. You see the right arm working overtime. Well, they can argue all they want. The referee is not going to change his mind now. Stanovic and Yanni stand over the ball. Yanni can fire them in from this sort of range. I've seen him do it in the Spanish Primera División. Here he goes. Repelled by Desai. Back in by Bilic. Oh, Thuram has missed out here. Šuker wants it. Oh, if it was cut back towards Šuker, Croatia surely would have led by 2-1. What was Vlahovic doing? Thuram, who made the initial error, just took the ball off the edge of Vlahovic's toe. Here's his free kick by Yanni. Marcel Desailly's got in the way of just about everything so far, so hardly surprised he was in the way of that one. But Croatia have a corner kick. It's 1-1, and we've had an hour of the game. Thuram gets it clear. Bilic under pressure from Deschamps. Yanni. Stimats. Šuker. Oh dear, I think that was a little bit of play acting there by Davor Šuker. Maybe Lizarazu was pushing him, but by the time he'd stopped pushing him, Davor Šuker was prepared to go down. So another free kick here to Croatia. Seven players inside that France penalty area. Stanovic went fighting for the ball. He won his side of throw in. This is Stanic. Suddenly the game has ebbed and flowed, this time into Croatia's favour. Good period for France. Now it's Croatia's turn. Yanni. Stimats. Petit. Deschamps. André. Zinedine Zidane's unmarked down the middle. He's still unmarked. André. No wonder Zinedine Zidane looks absolutely furious. Henry never lifted his eyes to try pick out a colleague in a blue shirt, because had he lifted his eyes, number 10 Zidane was unmarked. Jokayev, Givash, Mladic to the rescue. That really just underlines France's rather frustrating attempts in the last third of the field. A little bit more thought there. They could easily, and I hope that doesn't sound rather glib, but easily have had another goal. Good touch there by Zidane. That's better. Zinedine Zidane provided the meat for the Croatian sandwich. And here's Lizarazu. And that's a corner. What a fascinating game now, Johnny.
It is ebbing and flowing, as you said. Croatia just stemmed the tide there, didn't they? France throwing everything at them. They were able to come back, but now it's going back the other way.
Corner to France. Yuri Jokayev to bend his boot around the ball. Away by Stanic. And this is Zidane. Brilliantly done. Petit. Lizarazu. France retain possession, but they've given up 20 yards. Thuram. In towards Petit. Givash. Henry. There were just too many Croatia players in there. Lizarazu, the attack isn't over yet. It is now, though. And Croatia can counter-attack here. Soldo. Boban. Vlahovic. Simic. And Asanovic now for Croatia. Again, I'm not sure there's that much contact on Asanovic, but he's won his side a free kick. And that rather sly smirk says it all for me. We've almost got to the 20-minute mark of the second half, and Croatia are going to make a change here.
Number 10.
Oh, this is a worrying sight because Boban has obviously picked up an injury. And with a rather crestfallen air, leaves the field as Silvio Matic comes on. I think it's fair to say that without Boban, their engine room has just disappeared. What a cruel blow indeed for Croatia. Asanovic with a free kick now. Johnny, how do you assess that?
Well, I'm not sure it's an injury or not. I felt he was having a quietish game, if you like. I thought Asanovic out of the middle of the park was the main contributor. But maybe an injury.
Henry, once again, a rather thoughtless push and run by Henry. How will Croatia manage now without Boban? Well, they'll be a better team without him, who knows? This is Deschamps. Lizarazu. And this is Zidane. In towards Givash and headed out of harm's way by Robert Jarni. I think the point to underline about Boban's absence now is this game could go on a lot longer yet. And if Croatia are going to make their way through to the World Cup final, they're going to have to steer their own course now because their rudder has effectively been ripped out the boat.
Well, it is the time for someone else to take it over. Asanovic is quite capable of doing that. But Blanc dangerous on these situations.
Corner then to France. Stanic just about got it clear. Another real heart in the mouth moment there for Croatia. But they can break so quickly. Jarni. Thuram's having a fabulous game for France. Givash tries to stay onside. He's managed to do so. And he could pick out Henry, and it's another wasted attack by the French. Thuram, exceptional defending here. Swatting that move, initiated by Simic. And still, the majority of the fans in the Stade de France can only wait and hope that their team will take up their place in Sunday's final. It's only a matter of hoping, though. Croatia have already proved that they're able to upset the French. It certainly isn't a procession for the home side. Croatia have proved worthy semi-final opponents. And who's to say that if Croatia went through to Sunday's final, they'd give Brazil a game and a half. Trezeguet's ready to come into the action. Givash, I imagine, is the player who'll go off. Henry. Foul by Simic. Zinedine Zidane. Givash claims he was bumped off the ball in an off-the-ball incident, but there was no signal from the referee's assistant.
Substitution for
yeah, there was plenty of contact there, wasn't there?
Number 9,
and just as I anticipated, Givash has had his turn to try and find that elusive goal for a French attacker. And David Trezeguet, who set up Laurent Blanc's winning goal against Paraguay in extra time to give us a golden goal, is on in his place. Zidane. Thuram made up a lot of ground to get on the end of that ball. Henry. Thuram. Thuram again, he scored again! Oh, it's a fabulous goal! Incredible! A player who's never scored for France scores 2 goals, and they think it's going to take them to the World Cup final for the first time ever. What terrific athleticism here by Thuram, and what a shot at the end of it. Well, France could solve their goal-scoring problems by putting a number 9 on his back. What a finish.
We talked about the goal sparking, the goal Croatia scored sparking France up, but Thuram was at fault there. He played Šuker onside to concede the goal, and now he's come back with 2, so amazing stuff, isn't it? Blanc, of course, has scored 14 goals in 73 games for France. Now Thuram scoring the goals. You were suggesting number 9 for Thuram, maybe number 10 for Blanc. But France will want not to open up too much now. They really have to hold on to this. Croatia are capable with Šuker to penalise them for anything at the back.
Well, France know they have to keep it tight now. Remember, the goal scored by Davor Šuker was only the 2nd France had conceded in the entire World Cup, the first from open play. So, is there any more fuel left in the Croatian tank? Is footballing history being unveiled here in the Stade de France? Lizarazu! Oh, Šuker! Yuri Šuker can send them to the final. Petit! I thought he was going to shoot then. Versanovic. Yardi now for Croatia. And Desai thumps the ball to safety. Is this the end of a long road for the Croatian team and their coach? What terrific excitement. What a terrific story for the fullback Thuram. It still underlines my point that a French forward can't score a goal. But do they need a forward when they have Lilian, Thuram, and here's Vicente Lizarazu as Stade takes him out. And we're going to have a yellow card. A few complaints, I'm sure, by Stade about that yellow. Zidane with a free kick. Another goal now for France would take them through, surely. And what's the referee doing here? He's talking to Laurent Blanc. He's off! There was some pushing and shoving going on inside the area, and Laurent Blanc has not only been sent off, he will miss the World Cup final should France go through. This is what it's all about. All this pushing and shoving involving Bilic, and there was a punch thrown. The referee spotted it. Just watch the right of your picture here. Slap in the face. It's no worse than David Beckham. It's no worse than many players have had at France 98. And Laurent Blanc, for throwing that punch, has seen a World Cup dream ended here in Paris. Johnny?
Every corner kick this is on. I mean, there's no consistency about it. I mean, he's been caught out there, but it's happening all the time. I mean, I think it's very... I don't agree with the decision at all, I'm sorry. It's going on all the time, the shirt pulling, the arm wrestling, the wrestling's replacing football at every set piece. You could give a penalty every set piece, you could have a send-off every set piece. I feel for Blanc, because you could have a game with no players on. If the referee did that, according to the law, you'd have no players left on the field.
Leboeuf has come on and they've had to take off Yuri Jocquet, have to bring on a central defender. So that's where France will miss out. They have to play the remainder of the game with 10 men. They have a free kick, though. Zidane, who fires it in low, and Mladic takes it. So France 15 minutes from glory, but 15 minutes.
How many elbows to the face have we seen in this tournament? How many over the ball, the late challenges? I mean, not going punished. I mean, I know it is in the laws that it is, you are striking an opponent, whether a slap in the face is striking someone or not.
Petit.
I don't know.
If you lift your hands, Johnny,
yep.
you can only expect the worst. Zinedine Zidane.
But lift your elbow is okay, lift your foot is okay. So that's there's no consistency with it.
Asanovic. Soldo. Yanni, what a chance for Croatia now. Remember, they played against Germany when Germany were down to 10 men after Christian Wurns was sent off. It's a similar story now for Croatia. The difference was Wurns was sent off on the stroke of half-time. Asanovic with a cross, away by Leboeuf. Zinedine Zidane. I think going back to that point, Johnny, sometimes when elbows are used for leverage and feet are used, they're too high in dangerous positions. Though all those are matters of conjecture and debate whether they are fouls or not. If you lift your hand, there is no excuse whatsoever. And I hate to see a player suspended for a final, especially a player of the stature of Laurent Blanc, but he knew what he was risking. And you can hear what the French fans think about it. I think a few of them will be cancelling their Spanish holidays for the next couple of days, because the referee comes from Spain. Only kidding. But these champ players are going to have to pull together now, and in a dramatic last 13 minutes are going to have to make up the one-man deficit. But what glory at the end of it if they keep Croatia out. They're going to the final. Henry tries to get through. What a chance there for Frank Leboeuf, who plays his club football in England with Chelsea. He's virtually just given himself a ticket for the World Cup final. Bilic. Away by Leboeuf. Davor Šuker now. Can he take the game into extra time. What a clever play he is. Peels for offside. Yanni. Oh, they've wasted a chance there. And Vlahovic knows it. And there's going to be many, many more incidents like this before we get to full time. Vlahovic is spooning the ball over the crossbar.
Sadly for Croatia, hasn't had a good game, has he, Vlahovic? Šuker in fine touch, but has lacked that support up front from Vlahovic this evening.
Trezeguet with a header. And France, who hadn't managed a goal within 90 minutes of their last 4 games of knockout football, 2 here at the World Cup, 2 at Euro 96, have relied on a fullback, Lilian Thuram, to score 2 to put them into the driving seat. Can they now click the safety belt for a return trip here on Sunday? Vlahovic. But remember, they're down to 10 men. Stanic, it's a super ball and a great catch there by Fabian Barthez. He almost flew into orbit there, didn't he? He was so determined to get that ball. Trezeguet was going to move up, boys. There's only 10 minutes left. 10 minutes to try and take this game into stoppage time. Trezeguet's offside. Referee waves play on. Stimats drives it forward. Lizarazu. Do you think Croatia have something left, Johnny, to try?
Yes, I do. It depends the way they're going to play it. They've got to really stretch France wide, not just to try and play it immediately through the middle. When you're down to 10, of course, everyone concentrates at the back. They all get behind the ball as quickly as possible. Put as many bodies between the penalty area and about 20 metres out of it. So to get through, really, you've got to have a little bit of width about your play, not just to play it directly like that, because the defenders will just pick it up quite easily.
Free kick to Croatia. Henry was remonstrating with the referee's official there. And he led with his elbow, didn't he? Just underlining what you were saying, Johnny. Was that intentional? Or was it an accident?
Was there for a reason.
That is blood dripping off the hairline of Robert Yanni. Watch the right elbow there. That is absolutely sickening. And Robert Yanni doesn't even know which decade he's in at the moment. Never mind which football match. It's a fearful whack to his head. That really is dreadful to see.